Hey everybody, Ken Adams here, president and co-founder of P2P Labs, and we're kicking off our brand new podcast called 100% Uptime. And I'm here with my good friend and CEO and co-founder of P2P Labs, Dave George. And today, Dave's going to kind of tell us his vision about what he sees 100% uptime and why we want to bring 100% uptime to our listening audience. And with that, take it away, Dave.
All right. Well, thank you, Ken, and welcome. And thank you for joining us here on 100% Uptime, where I guess you would say everything is telecom from two guys who've been there. We've done that, and we've lived to tell the tale. And while I have a few scars, I think we have some great information to share on this podcast and in future podcasts. Why did we start this podcast, Ken? We're helping service providers. We're helping resellers. We're helping agents navigate this ever-changing world of telecom. Technology is moving faster and faster, and I think every industry has conversations that are happening,
Right.
and maybe some that should be happening, right? And so I think it was, probably half a year ago that I said to you that there's these conversations happening in these silos, these one-on-one conversations I was having with owners of service providers, resellers, and even vendors in our industry. And I said to you, I think something to the effect of, let's turn the mic on.
You did. Absolutely.
And it took us a few months. I have to be honest. I had to build up a little bit of my own courage and get my head around what I exactly wanted to do, how to frame it, right? The framework of the podcast. But there's a lot of noise out there. And so I felt like our podcast should, at least in season 1, really be all about movers and shakers, right?
Right.
The builders, the founders in the ecosystem. I wanted us to collectively learn more about the people behind the companies that we've come to love and learn and know, and how they see our industry changing and evolving, and perhaps how service providers and resellers can maybe change and evolve and adapt with those changes. I didn't want us to just talk to it. I wanted us to really get the gurus involved, right, and have them dive into the topics that concern all of us.
Right.
So I think
right.
that's my answer to you. Is that's the reason we started the podcast, and and I kind of rolled into, and that's what I think season 1's all about, right? Movers and shakers.
I absolutely agree 100%. It's the movers and shakers have, brought this industry from infancy to where we're at today. And now we
Right.
have some other light speed stuff happening with AI and new tech coming on the horizon. And it's going to be great to get the viewpoints from our guests on where they came from, where they, failed, where they succeeded, and where they see things going. And the best part about that is what I'm hearing is we're going to come at this with an attitude on and how to best takes the nuggets from these people, from these movers and shakers, and condense it down for a CSP, MSP, service provider, an agency, a channel partner to be able to take that wisdom and apply it into their own business, sometimes their own life, depending on the guests we have on. And that to me is exciting. It's not a podcast just to be a podcast.
Yeah, if we look at it from a technology perspective, I would argue that what you just described is shifting from products and services to outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the podcast, I think we need to do the same, right? So we want our guests to provide those nuggets of information, those pearls of wisdom that can then be translated to actual actionable items that create an outcome that's beneficial.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's not really about the technology, Ken. In my opinion, it's whatever it is, does it move my business from A to B faster, better, more efficient? It has to do something. There has to be a benefit. So it's not about the technology. It's about the outcome.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so that's why I think this podcast that we've done is really, if you're a service provider, if you're an MSP, a CSP, a reseller, a consultancy, an agency, a vendor, a distributor, I really think that you should like and subscribe our podcast, because it's going to give you, another channel of information that maybe you weren't aware of, or maybe you're in a certain silo, and this is going to basically give you some horizontal breadth of information. While I suspect that one of our topics will be all about verticalization and depth. But my point is that there should be something for everyone on this podcast, based on our guests that we have planned for season 1. And of course, if someone has a topic of interest that they're not seeing in our agenda, or they haven't seen after we do some additional podcasts, give us a shout out.
Absolutely. Let us know.
We'd love to hear from our audience. Sure. Yeah. My suspicion is that we're going to hear a lot of stories of where people maybe failed or made a mistake, or they've got a few bumps and bruises along the way. And I think what that'll do is that'll also instill that level of confidence that service providers and resellers and so forth need to hear, that it's okay to course correct, that it's okay to sometimes hit a wall, back up, and have to reposition yourself because of a changing technology, because of a boom or bust, economy. There's so many things affecting the telecom sector today beyond just changes in technology, right? It could be climate, it could be geopolitical, it could be just, how is money being made available today versus 5 years ago. All those factors play in, and I think we're going to speak to many of those topics along the way. So if you're a service provider, whether you're an MSP, a CSP, a reseller, an agent, a consultant, I really do think you need to like and subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any episode, and the juice will be worth the squeeze.
So we will be doing quite a bit of marketing efforts, so you'll know where to find us. But you can always check out our website, engagep2p.com. We have a whole section for we call the vlogs and blogs and everything else that goes with it, and that will link you directly to everything that we're doing as well. Or reach out to us, sales@engagep2p.com.
Then I guess I'll leave it with, for everyone that's listening, welcome to the conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks.